Welcome back to another episode, Spirit of the North. You have myself, Casey Blueford, my co-host, Mr. Derek Murray. D, what's going on, bro? How we doing?
Man, just vibing, man. Just vibing.
Hey,
Another week
the,
down
in, the
down the pipeline.
the intro kind of smooth. The intro got me hyped, like I'm about to go out there and hoop, right? Yo, the text thread has been booming this week, dog. So we got a lot to talk about. First and foremost, Emil can join us today. Emil's got mad work he's got working on right now. So shout out to Emil. So he'll join us on the next episode. But bro, what were some of the highlights for you this week? Like there's a lot of hoop this week. What is just off the top of your head, man? What came to
I-
mind?
Injuries.
And
Injuries. That's been the
yo,
story
it's
of the
sick.
week for me. I can't
It's been
lie.
it's been sick. Let's just run through those real quick. So we got Ja Morant with the what's his name? Not the
Strained
strained
groin or something
the
like
strained
that.
groin. Yep. We got the annual Zion hamstring. It was like the same tweet. It was just before it was a Shams.
They
It
had
was
it loaded.
Woj. It was Woj just sending them the template. Woj was like, "Yo, come November, I'm gonna shoot this over to you." He had it locked and loaded. Woj just I mean, Shams just typed in his name and fired that
That's
thing out.
crazy.
Uh, who else we got? Who else was injured this week?
um,
I know we had
KD
Paolo. Oh, okay, yeah, we had KD go down with the calf,
calf
which I
strain.
which always kind of worries me, especially after the whole Achilles, a couple years ago. And he's getting a little bit older too. I think after we chatted last week, I know we had Paolo had went out.
Palo's
Um,
out. Tyrese Maxey, another
Maxie's
player.
out. Yeah, it's
Hamstring.
man, it's yeah. But okay, let's get into it. So, big week of sports, big week of hoops this past week. We had a lot going on, but we can't talk anything hoops without talking about the kings of the land. And for that, we're talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers are off to, I believe, an 11-0 start. Donovan Mitchell is playing like an MVP candidate right now. The vibes are high. Evan Mobley is looking like he is trying to make not only an all-star team, but he's trying to make the USA basketball team the next go around. Darius Garland is out here balling. Jared Allen's beating shit. Like that's the Cavs look like a real threat in the East. Now, with that being said, we have kind of seen this before with Donovan Mitchell, a la 2021 Utah Jazz, number one seed. They look very similar, right? Instead of Darius Garland, we had Mike Conley. Instead of Evan Mobley, who was at it wasn't Millsap. I can't remember who their big man was in
I
2021.
think it.
Was it Millsap? Was it the end of
It might
Millsap?
have been. I think it
Maybe
might
the
have
end of
been
Millsap?
Millsap.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, anywho, my question for you, D.
Gobert,
Cat,
obviously, right?
oh, Gobert, yep. Rudy Gobert is still, I guess somewhat kind of into his prime. But, anywho, looks very similar to me as the Cavs, a solid regular season team. But I want to get your take, D. What's your thoughts on the Cavs?
Man, I think we overlooked the level of talent that they have on that roster. I mean, you got Karis LeVert coming off the bench. You got what's my man's name? The minivan.
The minivan. Who's the
What's his
minivan?
name, bro?
Who the,
Niang, George Niang.
yeah, okay.
He's on squad. You got the new D Wade, right? Dean Wade.
Dean, Dean
No,
Wade, yeah.
but jokes aside, they've got like a lot of role players who've played a lot of minutes for like teams who've been in playoff hunts. So I think their coaching staff, led by Kenny Atkinson. Listen, I don't even recall who was the coach for the Utah Jazz when Donnie Mitch and Gobert were on that squad. But obviously they're not moving the needle enough to be in the league right now. So that being said, I think that we have to factor that in when we talk about the Utah Jazz failures. But we have to look at Cleveland as a different situation. One, because of the talent that they have on the roster. There's quite a bit of dogs on the squad, right? Darius Garland isn't, he isn't some some softy out there. All right. He's got some Kyrie to him, right? He's got some shiftiness that is, I mean, dare I say elite level. All right. So you've got who just, I feel like, have more of it to make Cleveland a completely different. Basically, what I'm saying, Case, is I think we can believe in Cleveland. I think they're sustainable.
I'm just looking at some of their wins just from this past week. Like they beat them. So I think as of last time we were talking, they were playing the Milwaukee Bucks, and that night after that day or that night after we recorded, Donnie Mitchell had hit like the big shot. I don't think we ever got to get to that one. But they turned around and played Milwaukee again and beat them again in a similar type of game down to the wire. What that goes to show me is like their coach is emphasizing execution. And they got a 1 point win, 2 point win. They, beat the Pelicans by 9. They blew out the Warriors, which was a game I was actually looking forward to seeing, especially after the Warriors coming off the victory of the Celtics. Blew them out.
They dogged the Warriors.
Beat Brooklyn, which is really a feisty team right now. The Brooklyn Nets are one of those teams that you think might be an easy dub, but nah, they come to play. So it goes to show me that they're locked in, they are focused. This upcoming week, they have the Chicago Bulls on the road, and then they play the Philadelphia 76ers on the road. Then they play the Bulls again, this time at home, followed by, which is the first game of the in-season tournament, followed by the next Sunday, they'll be playing the Charlotte Hornets. So sideline conversation. The scheduling this season is weird. Is it me, or is the scheduling weird?
No,
Teams are playing back-to-backs, and they're playing the same team 2 out of 3 or even 2 in a row, and it's just throwing off everything. It's just I'm not liking the schedule this year. So.
Yeah, they're trying this thing. I think it has to do with travel, cutting down travel, making it so that these guys aren't being worn down. And as we said at the beginning of this episode, with all these injuries, clearly that's not working either. So,
I think we can agree. I think we can agree. I think this is a Cavs team that we can have some faith in, and I do think that come playoff time they are a real threat. Now, I still got the Boston Celtics coming out, right? It's one of those like until I see them beat in the East, I won't believe it. But I think that this Cleveland team could at least give anybody a run, and the way that they're starting, it's got to be at least Eastern Conference Finals. Would you say? What's your thoughts?
I was going to just cap it off with I would love to see Cavs Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
That would be extremely entertaining for me.
Real quick, break that down. Why you want to see that matchup? What do you think? What makes that such an intriguing matchup?
Well, as we stated, the execution of Cleveland, they run a very tight ship, it seems like. And it seems like there is a method to the madness in what they're trying to achieve. They're trying to make sure that they get Evan Mobley involved, that he is a focal offense, and they run off him and create mismatches, as they rotate the ball and go side to side with it. So it seems like there is a legit structure to what they're trying to do. And I think a team like the Celtics, they need to be out coached, right? I think that they have a system in place that is pretty much set right now, and the rest of the NBA has got to kind of adjust to it. In that we're just gonna shoot more threes than you guys. We're gonna shoot 50 plus threes a game, and if we hit on our average, we're for the most part we'll be successful. So I think they need to be. Their ops need to be somebody who also has a systemic with it, basically.
Hey, last thing I want to hit on this is I like seeing this. So we're 11 games in. So yes, somewhat small sample size, but still, I think this is a solid sample size given like we were 1/8 into the season, whatever, or something like that. I'm seeing 7 players averaging six players averaging double figures, which is a good sight. But more importantly, I'm seeing 8 players playing all 11 games. So that means that they're going deep into their lineups. They're going pretty deep into the rotations. And Karis LeVert, Dean Wade, like those guys have played 9 out of 11. I'm guessing there's probably injured the other ones. And I'm looking at the minutes played. You got 10 guys averaging 16 or more minutes. So it just kind of goes to show me they are a deeper team than we are realizing. And hey, shout out to the Cavs. So, all right, that down. Let's move over to our next team that I want to kind of dive deep into. and we kind of highlighted this team earlier on, especially with the injury. Is there a new sun rising? So the Phoenix Suns, I think we kind of talked about them last time, off to a good start. Let me double check the standings because I believe they played last night, and I wasn't exactly sure. I think they came in 8-1. Yeah, they were 8-1. The victory just the other night. But my question for you, and I kind of had this loaded before I got the news. Is this the best version of KD that we've seen in a while?
Mm,
So I
mm.
say that to say, before I give you the floor, I feel like I've seen a hungrier Kevin Durant this season. I feel like I've seen a Kevin Durant who, man, back on the main stage of the Olympics, back in the spotlight, hit some big shots, has some good run. It's kind of like rejuvenated, so to speak, and kind of reclaiming that title of, hey, I'm not just an assassin. Like I can really do this. And I've kind of seen him. I think we kind of came into the season expecting Book to be the 1A and KD to kind of be the sidekick. I feel like I'm kind of seeing that switch. Like KD's ball game on the line. We've already seen him steal like 3 victories this season, right? I feel like KD is balling right now. It sucks with the calf injury because we know he's going to be out for some time. But what's your thoughts on the Suns and what's your thoughts on KD right now?
I just want to echo that sentiment. I feel like, with all of these guys that went to the Olympics, especially the legends of the group, it seems like there's a level of invigoration within them. Like you said, they got to play on a big stage again. For the last few seasons, these guys are first, second round exits, right? That's not the norm for them. So I think the Olympics definitely reinvigorated guys like KD. Speaking of him specifically, like you said, he's hitting several clutch baskets. He's locking horns with some of these opposing teams, best players, and going tit for tat with them. Now, I was just watching the Dallas Suns game the other day, and Kyrie would go down and knock down a ridiculous shot, and KD would put it upon himself to go back the other way and get his get back. So it's been a while, to your point, since we've seen KD with this type of energy. He has been nursing injuries and what have you for the last few years, so I'm sure that factors in. But before this injury, since you got to complement each other. Like, if you're going to be two stars on one team, they've got to be complementary, i.e., being able to be elite without the ball, right?
Right.
Somebody being able to do stuff without the ball that also leads to winning. And I think with Kyrie and KD, both of them are some of the most skilled offensive weapons we've ever seen, right? But I don't know if they're elite without the ball. I can't say that. I mean, they're elite, obviously. They're legendary players, future Hall of Famers. But is that their superpower, playing without the ball? If not, it might not work.
So my question for you, with KD going down, let's just say he misses, I don't know, 7 to 10 games. Can the Suns continue to be a threat in the West, or do you see some fall off with KD going to the sideline? Do we see Book kind of step up? Right now he's averaging about 23. Do we see him kind of take that step and he's 25, maybe like 27, 28? Can they hang in there, so to speak, with the loaded Western Conference?
I think that they can stay afloat. I think there obviously is going to be some drop off there, but I think this is an opportunity for guys like Bradley Beal to step up, right?
Good point.
Bradley Beal has been. I'm not going to say that he has been invisible during this time. He's been playing his role as well. There's only so many balls to go around, right?
True.
But I think now with KD out, maybe this is an opportunity for not just Book, but him to kind of get his this is his verse for the album. You know what I mean?
That's true.
I think this could be good for them.
Good point, because right now KD and Book are averaging right around 17-ish, 18 shots a game. Brad Beal is down about 12, 13 shots. So we can definitely see him, and he's averaging about 15. So I can see him averaging, about 3 to 4 more shots a game, kind of getting to that early 20 mark. So
yep.
All right. Speaking of the Suns, we are going to talk about a team that has been sunned for the start of the season. Where does the Bucks stop? Where does the Bucks stop? Last time we talked about the Milwaukee Bucks. We got to talk about them again, just because it's shocking. It's shocking to see the Milwaukee Bucks look like this coming into the season. I was pretty high on them. I thought that they would at least compete amongst the top teams in the Eastern Conference more than anything. In the Eastern Conference, right?
Right.
We're not talking about the West. We're talking about the Eastern Conference. So I thought they would at least compete with the top teams in the Eastern Conference. Boy, was I wrong there. They're barely competing for a play-in at this point. So my question for you: what do you do with the Bucks? Let's look into their upcoming schedule. So let me pull up the Milwaukee Bucks real fast, and let's talk about this past week, and let's talk about what their future looks like. So this past week, since the last time we chatted, they lost to Cleveland twice. They beat Utah by 23. They lost
Utah's
to the
trash,
Knicks.
right?
They lost to the
We could
Knicks
all
the other
agree.
day. They lost to the Knicks the other night by 22 points. Now, tonight, they play Boston.
Celtics.
Then they go to Toronto. Then they play Toronto at home. Then they play the Pistons at home. Then next Saturday, they play the Charlotte Hornets. So this is a stretch to where, like, okay, maybe they lose tonight, but can they get the Raptors? Can they get the Pistons? Can they beat the Hornets? Can they beat the Rockets? Can they go on a stretch? Or is this they are? Like, what's your thoughts on the Milwaukee Bucks at this time? I know we just talked about it, but we got to hit on it again.
This is what we could expect, I think, at this point. Even if they go on a run from here, or like even if they quote unquote flip a switch, which personally I feel like is impossible, but I'll go with that for the sake of this argument. I think the way that they started shows me a level of dysfunction that is pretty jarring for any team expected to win a championship. Giannis barking at and throwing teammates under the bus, not so subtly. I was telling my boy he's basically operating like LeBron on HGH when it comes to the way that he's handling the media right now.
Like super aggressive though, right?
So listen, this is extremely alarming. If you're a Bucks fan, you need to call your therapist. You need to reach out to your physician, make sure your heart is okay, because this is going to be a tough season for y'all. And I keep hearing Chris Middleton's name. Like Chris Middleton's going to come in and just mamba the whole.
Is he Christopher Reeves before injury? Like, what's Middleton about to do, bro? Like, is he Chris Paul?
Man. Like, yeah.
Like,
this is
what's he about to do?
Situation. This is a scary situation, Case.
Okay.
Are you ready to press the eject button?
Let's get into that, right? All right. I'm in a tee right now. You in the hoodie. We got the beanie. Let's put the suit. Let's put the tie on. Let's get the briefcase. Let's step into the office. We are the owners. We're the GM. We're sitting down. What are we doing with this team? We're 11 games in. We are tied for 13th in the East right now. We are at 2-7. Is it our coach? Is it our star players? Is it like what do we do? We have no salary cap. We have. Are we tanking for flag? Like, what are we doing? Like what are we doing right now?
Situation look like?
Yeah. Like, I don't even know if they have picks. I don't even know if they got a pick. So, yeah. So what are we doing with this team?
Well, you can't get rid of the coach. That'll be the third coach.
We're keeping Doc.
That'll be the third coach in 3 years fired, basically.
All right, check.
That's crazy.
Keeping Doc. What are we doing with Dame?
I think. All right. So this scenario has two pathways.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick one, and I want you to pick the other, and we kind of build out from there.
All right.
So I'm gonna be risque and say that they should trade Giannis Antetokounmpo. Right.
Ooh, that's the risky path. I want to hear that one first. All right.
And then you're gonna take Dame, obviously, right? Okay. All right. So in my opinion, if I'm ownership and I'm committed to like getting back to the mountaintop at some point, I need draft capital, basically, right?
Okay.
So who has the most value on that team? Giannis Antetokounmpo. He doesn't want to be there it is very evident that he has an issue with what's going on. He's kind of been on a power trip for the last few seasons since he won the chip anyway. And you know what? Hey, I'll oblige. You don't want to be here. You want to be in a quote unquote winning situation. All right, bet. We're going to look out for you because obviously, you were the face of our franchise. So we'll send you where you want to go. But don't think that, don't think you're ungettable. You know what I'm saying?
So can I inject
him to Miami is the best look.
Okay, so that's my question. Are you trading him within the conference? Because usually they trade him outside the conference. So
right.
as you're speaking, I'm looking at the West and I'm like, okay, who can make a package for him? I'm looking at the Houston Rockets, who's got some nice young talent. But honestly,
OKC.
Okay, come on now, come on. OKC's got the.
People keep throwing that out there. People keep saying trade Chet, Chet for Giannis.
I'm looking at a pairing of Steph Curry and Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think the Warriors, they're hot right now too.
See,
Mike Dunleavy over here gonna. Mike Dunleavy over here. So, but here's the thing. Honestly, I feel like a Giannis move would kill that roster. Yep. Like a lineup with Draymond and Giannis.
I don't think Golden State has a good enough package because their package includes Kuminga and Podziemski, right?
Yep, and maybe
then whatever draft capital they can muster up. So if I'm Golden State, I don't know if I'm doing that. I think Miami Heat, they're thirsting for a move, right? They're trying to catapult themselves into the conversation. And I think Milwaukee already has a relationship with them, so I can see that happening. I would get as many draft picks back as I can. I'm taking Jaime Jaquez. I'm taking the other Jokic or Novich or whatever the hell is
Jovic. Yeah.
I'm taking one of the itches and then and then some bench work.
Okay, so one other team we got to keep in mind because I feel like they just got their haul back. What about the Brooklyn Nets?
That's another one I keep seeing.
I don't know if they have enough right now talent, especially with Mikal Bridges now gone. But could you get an overhaul? Could they do the same thing that they just got out of? Would they do the same thing they literally just got out of?
To me,
trade it
Nets,
all.
To me, the Nets don't make sense just from the simple fact that what is even if you took Giannis and kept the roster, is that a championship team? Giannis and Cam Thomas running a 2-man game? Come on, man. I'm not trying to see that. I'm not trying to see that.
Okay, we're gonna add that. We're gonna come back to this one because I feel like this Giannis talk is going to only pick up. But real quick, I want to hit on the Dame Lillard. Honestly, I really do think trading Giannis is the move. Because trading Dame, you just did that. You traded Drew Holiday and you got Dame. Okay. Who are you gonna trade Dame for and get?
Right.
I'm looking around.
That contract is crazy. Honestly.
The contract is crazy. You got a 6'2" guard who does not play any defense, right? Yes, do teams need scoring? Does Miami still want Dame that bad? Maybe, right? But I don't know. I don't even know what they're gonna do with Jimmy Butler. So there's no point of bringing Dame if you're gonna Dame and Bam. Now you're in the same situation if you're Dame.
Right.
So with that being said, I don't even know yes, they could trade Dame. They could probably trade Dame for maybe some younger talent per se. But I really think trading Giannis is the move. I think he's kind of tired of Milwaukee and he's just trying to kind of tiptoe, low-key stomp his way around and kind of bark his way around there. Because
he's his nuts hang.
No, real talk though, but because he's not helping the situation. Him whining is just not helping the situation. So we're going to come back to that one because I think that's going to be a topic of conversation for quite some time. So, we got to figure out where the buck lies. So
they're cooked. We'll leave it at that.
They are cooked. They are cooked, and we turning that heat up every single week. So that being said, all right, let's move over to our next subject. So we're going to run the 2-man game. So we got just me and you today. Usually we got the 3-man weave going. We're going to go the 2-man. So we're going to do a little bit of role playing. So usually I would kind of Usually I kind of
Oh.
pause. No pause, right? No, forgot the pause. Usually I'd kind of
No
run the
Diddy.
three-man week. No Diddy. No oil, no Diddy, no nothing. So all right. So I'm going to set up the scene and I'm gonna say, okay, this is who we are. You're gonna play the role, pause, and then I will kind of work my way in there. So
Yep.
all right, first one up. All right, you are in the city of brotherly love. You got a lot going on right now. You got the Eagles looking pretty good. You got the Flyers, pretty good team. You just put all your chips on the line. You got Paul George there. You are Josh Harris, owner of the Philadelphia 76ers. Your star player hasn't played. Your secondary star is now injured. Your tertiary or 1C, 1B star that you just traded for, yeah, it's not really working out because you are last in the Eastern Conference right now at 1-7. Josh, what are we doing? What's up?
We gotta let this ride out. We gotta let it ride out. We haven't had our number one star MVP player for this entire season up to this point. We had an injury with the guy that we brought in to complement him, and now we have another injury with the guy who's gonna inherit the keys. So I would say we're in bad luck right now, and the last thing we need to do is make a knee-jerk reaction to this. So Joel Embiid will be back on Wednesday, I'm told, my sources say. And we'll see from there what that looks like. We'll see what type of energy he brings to the team and go from there. But we need to diamond hands.
Boss, can we please keep Joel away from the reporters, please? He's harassing our reporters and stuff now. Can we please? But on a positive note, you're only 3 games out of third place in the East in the loss column, obviously. So there is
my take about the East is aging like milk.
The East is trash this year. So but the fact is, you go on a 3-4 game run, you're right there in the thick of it. So I think Cleveland and Boston are going to run away with the 1 and the 2. So it's all about who else.
I'll say this, just circling back to the Bucks really quickly. I'm feeling less concerned about the 76ers than I am about Milwaukee, even though the 76ers have a worse record right now.
Okay, I can see that though. That makes sense. Because at least the thing about the Sixers, like, we don't know yet, right? Milwaukee, we see, right? It's clear.
They got their roster basically.
Yeah, this is it. They're just waiting for Chris to come back and So we'll see.
Become the second coming of Michael Jordan.
All right, here we go. We are. All right, I'll play this one. All right, so we just had a champion in the WNBA, right? The New York Liberty just won the title. Feeling good. The Mets, the Yankees had a good season. Our counterparts in New York just had a big trade with Karl Anthony Towns. I am Joe Tsai, the owner of the Brooklyn Nets. I'm coming to you for advice. What am I doing with the Brooklyn Nets?
You sagged for flag, man. It's that simple. Honestly, the team is a little too damn good.
Yeah,
if you ask me right now.
Well, that's the point. Like, you got Schroeder averaging 20. You got Cam Thomas averaging 5.
Yeah.
You got Cam Johnson averaging 17. Like,
we can't have that. We can't have that, and I wouldn't be surprised if by trade deadline we're moving off of some of these guys.
You have to. You have to. Like, right now, you're 9th in the East at 4-6. Okay, right, but you're a chippy team, so you're winning some games you probably shouldn't win, and you're losing some games probably shouldn't lose. So you beat Milwaukee, you beat Memphis, you beat the Bulls, you beat Memphis twice actually. You lost to Boston in OT.
Right
yeah,
now.
like, they're too decent, bro. So here's the thing: if I'm a team looking as a contender, Brooklyn has some nice pieces that they're gonna offload. Right. I'm looking at Dorian Finney-Smith Jr.,
Cam Johnson.
Yep. I'm looking at even Dennis Schroeder in the right situation.
Claxton.
Yeah, Claxton
I'd
as
take
well.
Claxton too.
So I think the advice for me is we went in too much. Put it like that. We went in too much. We need to get more
Yep.
lottery balls paused. So
You know what though? I would say trading off of some of those assets. If you can do that, get draft capital and a potential complementary piece to Cooper Flag or whoever you're
like
gonna
a
bring in.
yeah
That would be ideal, probably.
yeah. And I think there's gonna be players who are gonna want to play with Flag too. So I'm interested to see. I wonder. Okay, quick question, quick hitter. 3 years tops, better record. Spurs, Nets.
Mm,
Because can you see where I'm going at? I kind of can see them
yeah,
kind of on the same. Obviously, they got victory now, and we're assuming Flag is going to be really good. But I feel like the Nets kind of already got some foundational pieces now. If they move
yeah,
off of them, maybe. But I can see the Nets being, kind of like what the Charlotte Hornets are kind of doing right now. That frisky team, kind of right in the middle.
yeah.
All
I
right,
just
here we
think
go, dude.
in order for them to get Cooper Flag, they're gonna have to be worse. So I
They got to
would
be horrible.
in that case, I would say the Spurs probably.
Yeah, yeah. All right, here we go. So coming back to you right now in your city, you are a financial advisor. So you have some other advisors. Sorry, you have some other people that you advise. Preferably, probably from the Detroit Lions are looking good right now. Teams are balling. You are the financial advisor for Cade Cunningham. You're not his coach. You're not the owner. You're not the GM. Cade is is he up for the extension or did he already sign it? I think he's up for an extension. Let me look him up real fast. Anywho, as the financial advisor for one Cade Cunningham, what are you telling this young brother right now?
You got to stay the course. You got to stay the
Okay.
course and get that what is that? The bird rights
Okay, the
max.
35. Yep. So get
You
that
got to get
first.
you got to because where are you gonna go? You know what I mean? Like obviously I know the situation isn't the best. I know the team isn't like in a playoff hunt or anything right now. So, that being said, you can get traded to a team that is in the playoff hunt and possibly lose your spot and not get
Mm,
maxed out. Or
okay.
you can stay here and get this next contract and then ask out. You know what I mean?
So it looks like he's still. What it looked like? Oh, maybe he did sign an. He signed it. Yep, in July he signed the extension. Okay, so he signed the
Word.
extension in July. So this year he's making 13. Next year he'll make 38.
Yeah.
Then
So you
followed
got
by
it.
41. So the contract is there.
You got to
So
stay.
how many more years does he have to stay in Detroit?
I would say at least go up to this next contract. What was that?
Better
Was
keep
it
playing
like
first.
two more seasons? How many more seasons did he sign for?
So looks like he has 5. So he has his current one now. The new contract kicks in beginning of next season. That's a
And that's
5-year
a
deal.
4-year or it's a 5-year deal?
Yeah, 5-year deal. I
Okay.
don't know. 5 years. My guess is what's this? Yeah, they don't have it written down, but it's the 5-year, probably max extension type thing.
I say you give it 2. You give it 2
Okay,
more seasons. If they're
220, about
not,
220.
if they haven't changed their trajectory, then you either ask out or you'll probably be traded because you're the reason why they're not. You know what I mean?
That's true.
It's either one
That's
of the
true.
two.
That's true. All right, next
They
one.
look decent though this year. They look decent.
Yeah,
They've
for sure.
had a couple big back-to-back wins. They beat the Nets, didn't they?
I think they did actually. Let me go back to their team. I know
I think
Cade's
they
looking
did
good
beat the
though.
Nets.
Cade's been looking good though. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I just like the fight, right? I know
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna fight every game, so I like the fight. I like what they're doing. All right, let's move over. I got a special guest. He is
Oh wow.
the man of the man. He's got a lot of clients in the NBA, but he's been recruiting Flag for a while.
Okay.
You are Rich Paul, future agent of one Cooper Flag. Right now, the worst teams in the league right now What's up, Drew? You got the Utah Jazz at 2-7. They're looking like they may be the worst team in the league. Philly's 1-7, but we know Philly's going to bounce back. Toronto's a little feisty. So my question for you: Portland, Utah, Toronto. What are you doing with Cooper Flag? Are you sending him to any of those cities, Rich? What's the plans for Rich Paul?
I don't love Utah. I'll tell you that right now.
From the branding, no.
And you already got Lauri Markkanen, right?
Yeah, the great white hope.
So it's like we've already got a big free. We don't need. We don't need.
That's true. That's true.
So you said Portland and then Toronto would be the other team?
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, right, it's going to come down to the Wizards, maybe. Portland, Toronto, Utah.
Man, I don't love any of those.
I don't. So that's
from a
why
marketing
Brooklyn
standpoint.
You better hope Brooklyn moves some pieces because that's the only.
We need Brooklyn. We need Brooklyn because I'm not trying to go to Washington. Not with that mess that's going on over there. Portland might be another option, but like, is that really moving the needle? Like, are we copping the Cooper Flag Portland Blazers jersey?
that's like, bro, that's low key like a Bill Walton jersey, bro. Ain't nobody rocking the flag Portland jersey. Nah, I'm good.
And in Toronto, man, like, I don't think they've had. Vince was like the only player that got drafted there that was like an NBA staple, right? So, man.
Yeah, we got to make some talks.
We got to
call Josiah. We got to get Josiah. We got to get Josiah on the phone because like this ain't it.
We need to start facilitating some moves, getting some of these players off the roster so they can get some cap space. You know what I mean?
And I feel like the NBA, Adam Silver, he's not a dumb dude. Like, you got a big time college dude coming in. Like, nah, Josiah, let's make some moves.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Here's our last one. Hey guys, stop, please, stop. Lord, sorry guys. Kids, trying to do a podcast with kids is nasty work. All right, last one. Here we go. It's time for a powwow. I'm calling in Nick Saban. I'm calling in Coach K. I'm calling in Bill Belichick. We got to sit down, Pop. 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 Hey, what advice are we giving Pop? What are we telling him?
Put that wine down first and foremost, right? Right. Stop sipping. You know what I'm saying? And lightweight, sit your old butt down. Honestly, respect to Pop, and prayers up for him because I hate to hear that. He's going through some health issues. But I do think that, like you said, with all those other guys, sometimes it's time to hang it up. Like how many iterations of the Spurs are you gonna be in charge of? You know what I'm saying? And your coaching tree is legit. Most coaches who work under Pop go on to have success. Look at Becky Hammond, right? So I think that being said, he can trust somebody else to take the reins. He can still be somebody within the organization, as a counsel. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it's worth him continuing to be on that daily grind like he is, man.
Yeah, I think he needs a consultant type role, right?
Right.
Like a la Phil Jackson at the end, where Phil was kind of like consulting.
When he was smashing Jeannie Buss.
consulting cheeks, bro. Like, but honestly, even a Brad Stevens type thing, right? I know Brad Stevens kind of runs the day to day, but he was heavily influenced with that team. I know R.C. Buford is probably one of the best GMs in the league as well. So, okay, maybe kind of play that role and kind of be a co-coach, so to speak. I mean, he's grandfathered into whatever they want him to do. But I think it's time. It's time, Pops. All right, that was good. That was fun. I want to discuss a few things a la social media. All right, so we're gonna share the screen here and get into some screen share. All right,
I
there's a
love
couple
this
things.
part. You
There's
know
a
what I
couple things
mean?
I want to get on. There's a couple things I want to get to first. We got to talk LaMelo Ball, Tyrese Halliburton. Quick takes. What's your thoughts? I know there's been a lot of conversation about these two. And I think that early on, everyone's like, especially last year, Halliburton had a nice run. Yo, the other night, did LaMelo just cook him? 31, 7, and 6. Halliburton 6.7. He had a Draymond line. 6.7 boards, 9 assists. Like, I know this is on a loop, so I don't have I'll look for some more video. Let me try to find some more video. But what's your thoughts on the Melo Halliburton conversation?
Man, hey, look, a week ago, I saw Austin Rivers speak
There
to
you go,
this,
right here.
and the internet kicked his back in.
There we
The
go.
internet tried to kick his back in for that. And I couldn't agree more at this point. I couldn't agree more. LaMelo Ball is better than Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, let's just be honest. The only reason why Tyrese Halliburton is in the zeitgeist is because of the injuries that LaMelo has sustained, right?
Yeah.
But I think when we
Yeah.
watch them go at each other, more times often than not, it's clear who is a more dynamic player on the court, right?
Absolutely.
So I would say I'm taking LaMelo over Halliburton if we're like drafting today. But
Yeah.
I'm also I fully understand why someone would still value Tyrese Halliburton highly, based on how he takes care of the ball, based on the fact that he's a ball mover, not a ball stopper, based on the fact that, to our surprise, he's a lot better at 3-point shooting than his shot looks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think when you talk about ceiling, right? Who has a higher ceiling? You got to say LaMelo.
I agree. And if I recall, they're in the same draft, right? Melo went 2.
Mm-hmm.
Hallie went 13 to the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, yeah, teams know. All right, let's move over to the next one. We're going to your team now. This one viral. We got to talk about the Lakers and JJ Redick crashing out on the sideline. We got to talk about JJ crashing out on the sideline real quick. What's your thoughts on D'Lo?
Yo, JJ Redick was one of them Adderall kids. Like we all went to school with those kids that like just crashed out when the teacher went in on them. You know what I mean? Like throw the chair and walk out the classroom.
This was D'Lo's response about getting benched. What's your thoughts? Is he still trade deadline gone? What's your thoughts?
D'Lo is washed. I've hated the D'Lo minutes all season long. He came in with the blonde dreads. His whole attitude just seems like kind of lackadaisical to me. He's saying all the right things, which, for the most part, he has done for most of his career, aside from the Nick Young situation, right? But I just think that he thinks that he can be of more value on another team. I don't think that he feels he's being utilized to his strengths. And you know what? More power to him. But I just don't think that he fits on this roster. He's been benched. He says he's cool with that. But don't be surprised if Rob Pelinka moves that man by the deadline. All right.
Let's talk about this one. Ja Morant, LeBron James. Let's try to find some clips. Here we go.
Ja Morant.
Bron's too old for this too.
Bron's Bron hit him with the way too small. But to be fair, this was after. Let me see if I can find the video. This was after Ja doing all this, bumping into Bron.
Yeah, this is
ridiculous. Too small. Bron could literally be his dad. Like let's be real. Like Bron done had so many quote unquote beefs this year in his NBA career. He ain't worried about little old Ja. And then go figure, Ja's injured 2 nights later. So my question for you is, will Memphis and will Ja ever change? Because this is why I can't get down with Memphis in the first place.
Look, this was egregious by Ja Morant. All right, like to not only bump him from behind, right,
Pause. Yeah.
but but to then at another point do the too small on him as well. This is extremely disrespectful and unnecessary. And to answer your question, I think Ja is who he is, man. Ja is who he is. He can say all these things that PR tells him to say in order to keep his butt in the league. But I just think he's just extremely immature, man. And the Grizzlies follow suit.
All right, real quick. I want to get your thoughts on this one because this was nasty. Okay, if I recall, this was Coach's son.
Oh man.
BJ Edgecombe, Mike.
Oh man, yeah.
We couldn't. I know this is not NBA basketball, ladies and gentlemen, but we love basketball as a whole, and this is just nasty. This is just nasty. Like you up by, you're up by 30-something points. So you usually put your quote unquote scrubs in third tier. You can't be doing this. You can't be doing this. So I just had to show that. I know we can get back to the NBA, but I could not have the pod and not at least bring that up. What's your quick thoughts on that? Why pull this up?
Yeah, I can't wait for the internet to edit this video and make it so that he gets dunked into the ground, into the dirt, and like a flower pops up. Because that was it. That was a body. That was a body. That's all I'll say.
All right, let's move over to this next one.
Washington.
We got to talk Draymond and Poole. So for those that don't know, Poole hits a three, points at Draymond like he just popped his head. Warriors come down. Steph, passes to Draymond. Steph hits the three as Poole tries to close out. Draymond points at him, goes on his pod, talks about how he was getting bodied by Poole. Like, okay, Draymond, nobody believes you. Okay, what? Nobody believes you that you was getting bodied. Are we ever going to be able to get past Jordan Poole getting popped in the mouth by Draymond?
Nah, man. Nah, we not. We not. And he knows that. And he, this is him trying to get his nuts back. You know what I'm saying? This is him trying to get his nuts back. Draymond, Draymond is trying to move past this situation, right?
He is.
So he don't want to seem like it's more than what it is. But we all know deep down inside that was one of the most egregious moments in not only the Golden State Warrior history, but NBA history as a whole.
All right, real quick. Last one I want to hit on real quick is my dude, Ant Edwards.
It's here in this third quarter. And Ant's going to try another one. And he's got.
So we got Ant with the step back three. But the reason I wanted to show this clip, not necessarily was just the step back 3%, but it's Ant's 3-point shooting in general. So I know we talked a little bit about this last pod about, he's averaging 12 attempts a game, but he's shooting close to 50%, which, we talked about, okay, is this, just trialing, preparing for playoffs? Or is this really what he's looking to do?
Look at that, bro. Tween, head,
nasty.
Jab,
nasty.
backstep.
and given how easy he can get to the cup, it's damn near unstoppable if he can shoot the three like this. So, what are your thoughts on Ant's hot three ball shooting thus far?
Yeah, listen, man, he's extremely he's improved so much as a jump shooter, man. Over these, how many is this his third or fourth season?
Fourth year, I think. Fourth or fifth year, maybe actually.
Yeah, that jump shot from and it was never bad, right? It was never horrible, but I think that it's so much more consistent now. And like you said, right now he's shooting those threes at a high clip. I would still say he's settling.
Okay.
I still think he's settling and relying.
Okay.
I mean, he's one of the best downhill guards in the league, right? Like you said, once he gets going off the dribble, he's up over your head in a split second. So I would like to see him just get to that more, but I imagine he's doing this so that come playoff time, he's in a rhythm and he's knocking down threes.
And that's how I see it. I feel like he's practicing his game right now. So I feel like he's just working on. One second.
Hey, sometimes you got to take care of those little ones.
Yeah, I ain't trying to yell at the kid on the camera. I had a point in direct real quick, like, hey, out. But I do feel like honestly, I feel like he's just working on this game. Like, I feel like he knows he can get to the cup at any time. And I feel like it's smart of him. Save his legs a little bit, work on his game, develop his game throughout the regular season. This is Ant's one, two, wait, I'm sorry, the last 5 games. This is 1, 2, 3. This is his 5th year. So this is
Man.
and he's still 22. This is nasty.
Man.
All right, that down.
That was also the LaMelo and Halliburton draft.
Oh, yeah, Ant was one. That's hey, we need to mark that down. That was a good draft. In hindsight, like that was a good draft. That might be one we have to revisit at some point because
he's clearly the number 1 pick, right?
Clearly, yeah, clearly. Like you could redraft that thing 1,000 times. He's number 1. All right, so I got something for you here. I stole this this concept and this idea from a couple of guys on the internet, but I wanted to kind of get your thoughts on it. So I'm not going to tell you the category. I'm going to rank the names, and you're going to put them in order from, you can, if I say black, you can say, that's number 3. Or if I say blue, you can say that's number 2. And then at the end, I will tell you what the category is. Okay.
All right. Blind rank.
Blind rankings. Yep. All right. Let me just find something I can write this down real quick. All right. Here we go. Let me get the names real fast. All right. Here we go. I'm sure you'll pick it up afterwards. So we're gonna go 5 names.
Okay.
And yeah. First one is Bernie Mac. 1 through 5.
Man, this is tough. I'm gonna say 4 though.
4?
I'm gonna say 4. And I love Bernie Mac.
Next one is Kevin Hart.
5. 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next one is Dave Chappelle.
I'm gonna say 1.
Okay. Next one is Eddie Murphy.
I knew that one of these guys was gonna pop up here. I'm gonna say for me 2, probably in my lifetime, probably 2. Yeah.
Okay. Last one, Martin.
3.
3. Okay.
Yeah,
So we got Chappelle, Eddie, Martin, Bernie, Kevin Hart.
Yep.
Honestly, from like a blind ranking, that's actually the lineup I probably put him into. Chappelle. I might put Martin 1, prime Martin. I don't know. Chappelle is so dynamic though too, but yeah. Either way, you can't go wrong with them. You can't go wrong with any of those.
I like that though. So that was fun.
I want to wrap this thing up by talking about what's upcoming. We got the in-season tournament coming. So I want to talk about this first week of games. So let me pull up the NBA calendar real quick and we could talk about this.
It starts Tuesday. It's Tuesdays and Thursdays, right?
Yep, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yep. Where's my? Hold on.
This is kind of exciting, actually. Why are you looking that up, Case? What's your thoughts on the stats coming out that NBA has lost ratings this season? Should they be concerned?
Big picture, yeah. Big picture, they probably should be concerned. And I think that's why there's so much urgency around like this in-season tournament and just kind of how they're doing things. I think that they have to figure out like this post LeBron. I know, Bron keeps playing, Steph keeps playing, Katie, but they really are kind of in trouble if they can't find that new face that, long story short, they talked about this the other night when Steph Curry came back the other day, first game when he played against the Celtics. I think it was one of the highest viewed games of the year. And that's because Steph Curry, right? Obviously, and he's playing the Celtics. Like who's moving the needle like that? Luka's not really moving the needle like that. Giannis for sure is not moving the needle like that. Ant has the chance to, and I feel like he's starting to a little bit, but like he plays in Minnesota. Like it's so who's really moving that needle? So I think big picture, yes, they should be concerned, but also the players though, like they're not when you're sitting out first 2 weeks of the season, you're showing that you don't care either, man. And like it's hard to kind of push that product. So big picture, yeah, I think they should be a little concerned. What's your thoughts?
Man, I agree with you. I think one, the starts of the season historically just isn't as lit. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of guys, like you said, conserving energy for the latter part of the season. I am hoping that the in-season tournament segue kind of boosts the entertainment value and kind of invigorates like an excitement. But I also think, there's a lot going on in this country right now, for those who are outside of it. We just got through with the election. Historically, Republicans and people of that nature, they would rather support sports like football, right?
Yeah,
and I think we're on a pendulum we're on a swing now where basketball, we might be in an era where basketball might just be too black, right?
Hey, they got too much of a voice, right? They're
right.
not hidden by the helmets.
Right.
Yeah, they got nicknames in the jerseys and stuff. You know what I mean? Like it might be.
So I think it's we're there's some residual effects from just kind of the identity politics of everything coming into play as well.
No, I think you hit a good point. All right, let me pull this up real fast. Here we go. All right, so let's talk about some of the games on. Make sure you can see. Make sure you can read this. All right, let's talk about some of the games on Tuesday night. So we'll just kind of scroll through them and just let me know what games you're looking forward to seeing. We got Hawks and Celtics. We got Heat and Pistons. Hornets and Magic. I'm actually interested to see this because I want to see the Hornets are the type of team I feel like should go for it. Right? I feel like
I would like them to.
Yeah, and on these first games mean a lot because it's only a four game pool play. So, you want to go 4-0, you want to go 3-1. So I think the Hornets are the type of team that can go for it. Knicks and Sixers, I would love to see the Knicks kind of go for it too. I think they're the type of team that, yes, they could compete for the NBA title potentially, but I think getting the cup could be a huge boost. And it's good for New York. It's always good for New York. So I'm looking forward to that. Toronto, Milwaukee, kind of lost interest in that. Phoenix, Utah, lost interest. This Dallas and Warriors game is going to be interesting. Klay Thompson's return to the Bay. Historically, kind of a little bad blood between the Mavs and the Warriors, so it should be interesting to kind of see how they play. And then
that game's going to be lit.
It for sure is.
That game's going to be lit.
For sure is. So, and then that moves us to Friday night's game. So Friday we have the Heat and Pacers. Sorry, dude, I got the little one right here.
No, you're all good.
He's the loudest one. Sixers, Magic, Pistons, Raptors, Hawks, Wizards, Bulls, Cavs. I think the Cavs are going to go for it too. I think they want to show that they are a dominant team, so I can see them going for it.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, Case. These games are sounding like snooze fests.
There's no aside of that Warriors Mavs. Yeah, there's nothing that really kind of gets you going, right? Like
not so far. I mean, maybe Clippers Houston might be kind of lit, like on like a lower end of the spectrum, a lower end of the scale there.
This is always a good matchup though, Grizz Warriors. But if Jaw's out, then I don't really want to care about this game anymore.
Yeah, you got Bane and Jaw out in that case. You know what though? You know what I'm thinking about this? Oh, who are they playing? Oh, that'll be a good game. Minnesota kind of owns the Kings right now too.
They do. What was you thinking though? What are you about to say?
I was just gonna say what the in-season tournament also seems like is a vehicle for some of these underrepresented teams, right? Because once you move up in the tournament, you start getting national TV games, right?
That's true.
So a team like Charlotte, who is typically an NBA TV or NBA league pass,
at best, yeah.
they're going to be able to play on a bigger platform. So I think these lower level teams should be looking at it that way so that they can kind of put themselves out there and get more publicity.
No, you're right. All right, bro. We covered a lot tonight. I look forward to these games this upcoming week. And we'll holler at you soon.
All right, man. Always
Later.
A blast.